Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good morning. Today we are going to discuss about item test analysis. And let me introduce myself. I am Anis Fauzia Handoko, and I say hello to everyone, and especially my beloved teacher, Ma'am Yuni. And our topic to discuss about item test analysis. Number one is item analysis definition in language test, purpose of item test analysis, non-reference language test or NRT, item test analysis in NRT, item difficulty level, item discrimination, the structure of item analysis, example of item analysis in Microsoft Excel for NRT. I'm so sorry, I don't use SPSS, and criterion reference language test or CRT and the parts. Well, again, friends, let's discuss about the definition and the purpose. Item test analysis is a systematic evaluation of the effectiveness of the individual item of the test. Item analysis purpose is selecting the best item that will remain on a revised and improved version of the test. So item analysis can take numerous forms, but when testing for non-reference purposes, four types of analysis are typically applied. Item format analysis, number 2 item facility analysis, number 3 item discrimination analysis, and number 4 the structure efficiency analysis. But in developing using CRT, we have 3 other concerns. Number 1 is item quality analysis, the item difference index, and the B index for each item. And in this PPT, we only discuss about NRT, so we have 4 things to do. Alright, so what are the non-reference language tests or NRT? Consists of 4 parts. Number 1, item form analysis. What is it? It is item which is chosen by examiner in form of multiple choice or general guideline, receptive item format, or true or false. And number 2, item difficulty or item facility analysis. It is testing each items or questions is too easy or too difficult, and it has a formula and the difficulty index. Number 3, item discrimination. It is testing high score and low score on tests. It also has formula and discrimination index. Number 4 is the structure analysis. It is testing how examiner gives multiple choice pattern to distract examinee. Let's recall about the item test analysis in NRT. There are 2 statistical analyses can help in analyzing a set of non-reference item. Number 1 is item facility analysis, or as known as item difficulty, and number 2, item discrimination analysis. It is like the slide before. Alright, now the time to discuss the item difficulty. Let's recall the definition. It is a statistical index used to examine the percentage of students who correctly answer a given item. So how to calculate the F index? We can number of people who answer correctly is divided by number of people who answer. So I repeat once more. Item difficulty is number of people who answer correctly is divided by number of people who answer. And remember this formula, you should write down in the formula bar in Microsoft Excel. Well everyone, this slide is talking about difficulty index or difficulty range. There are 3 ranges based on the language textbook and programs. The range are 0.76 till 1.0 means too easy, 0.25 to 0.75 means average, 0 to 0.24 means too difficult. The next topic is about item discrimination. The formula is PT as the upper students minus PB as the lower student is divided by N. So what is N? N is 20% of student total number. Okay, let's recall the definition. Item discrimination or ID indicates the degree to which an item split the student who perform well from those who perform poorly. So we can say advanced level and lower level. These 2 groups are sometimes referred to as the high and low score scorers, or upper and low proficiency students. The reason for identifying these two groups is that ID allows teachers to contrast the performance of the upper group students on the test with that of the lower group students. The process begins by determining which student had scored in the top group on the whole test and which had scored in the bottom group. To do this, begin by lining up the student name, their individual item responses, and total score in descending order based on the total score. The formula is in the blue box. So, after do the test, you should write down the result. Example: number item. Number item is number the question number. For number 1, student A got through, so she got 1. For number 2, she got false, so she got 0. And then calculate the total of the true number. Alright, the next is discrimination range based on able. 0.40 to above is very good. 0.30 to 0.39 is reasonably good. 0.20 to 0.29 is marginal item. 0.19 to below is poor item. It can be used to make decision which item to keep and which item to discard. So you can write down the discrimination and index and formula bar of Microsoft Excel. And the last for an RE is the structure of item analysis. It is testing how examiner gives multiple choice pattern to distract examinee. It asks the examiner to revise the option. Why should the examiner revise the option? It will happen when the percentage of two items are the same. Two items mean the wrong one and the right one. See the picture. Option A and option D have the same percentage. That is 33.3%. It means that's not totally right. The gray one as the wrong answer and the green one as the right answer. So the teacher or examiner should revise the wrong one answer to be totally wrong. And so what is an RE development and improvement project? The development or improvement of a non-reference language test or NRE is a major undertaking like many other aspects of language curriculum development. Such projects are usually designed to: number 1, pilot a relatively large number of test items on a group of students similar to the group that will ultimately be assessed with the test. Number 2, analyze the items using format analysis and statistical techniques. And number 3, select the best item to make up a shorter, more effective, revised version of the test. From the example above, the if or item difficulty and ID or item discrimination are not ideal. Even the if is average, but the range is only 0.45, thus the result of ID is poor item. Well guys, actually I just try to applying the how to make a data tabulation about my tasks, and actually it will be easier to use SPSS than Excel, but you can try both if you want. And now let's discuss about criterion development of language test or CRE. A CRE that is designed to measure student achievement might produce scores that are predominantly high. There are 3 points of CRE. Those are item quality analysis, number 2 the item difference index, and the last is the B index for each item. Well, the first is item quality analysis. Item quality analysis is clearly a test based on the program or course objective. It is done before the class, which is known as pre-test or diagnostic test and after the class, which is known as post-test. Teacher or examiner should judge the items which is to be kept or revised. Item specification by POM-PAM will help teacher or examiner to judge the item. So when we do an RE, that will be done in summative text, but CRE that will be done twice, the first in pre-test and the second in post-test. And the next is POM-PAM item specification. There are 5. Number 1 is general description. What is general description? It is a brief general description of the knowledge or skill being measured by the item. And number 2, sample item is an example item that demonstrates the desirable item characteristic or further delimited by the stimulus and response attribute below. Number 3, stimulus attribute, a clear description of the stimulus material, that is the material that will be encountered by the student or the material to which they will be expected to react through the response attributes below. And number 4 is response attribute, a clear description of the types of option from which student will be expected to select their receptive language choices or standard by which their productive language response will be judged. Number 5, specification supplement. For some item, supplemental material will be necessary for clarifying the 4 previous elements. For example, the specification supplement might include a list of vocabulary items for which the item writer should draw, or a list of grammatical form, or a list of function of the language. So you can read by yourself twice or more. The second of CRE is different index. The different index indicates the degree to which an item is reflecting gain in knowledge or skill, in contrast to item discrimination, which show the degree to which an RE item spirit the upper third from the lower third of the students on a given task administration. The different index indicate the degree to which a CRE item is distinguishing between the students who know the material or have the skill being taught and those who do not. And the DI formula and range. The DI formula is post-test result minus pre-test result, and the I range is minus 1.0, indicating that students knew but somehow unlearned the knowledge or skill in question. And the next is plus 1.0, showing that the students went from knowing nothing about the knowledge or skill to knowing it completely. It means positive. So the course objective is reached perfectly by the student. And this is the table of DI I take from Language Tests and Programs book. And there are 4 columns. The first column is item number. It means the question, the number of question, and the post-test if, pre-test if, the third column, and the last is different index or DI. One last discussion about CRE is the B index. What is the B index? It's an item statistic that compares the if of those students who pass a test with the if of those who failed it. It is conducted in post-test. The B index indicates the degree to which an item distinguishes between the students who passed the test and those who failed, rather than contrasting the performances of students before and after instruction, as is the case with the different index. And the next is table of the index. There are many columns. Student ID is the name of respondent, and the item number is 1 until 10 is the question, and the total is total of right number, and the percentage. You can do all in Excel, but you have to give more attention in the formula. Alright, okay, perfect. This is the time to discuss about the example of an RT item difficulty. You can see the formula bar. There are 2 sample. How we calculate the upper group and the lower group. The right picture for the upper group and the left picture for the upper group and the right picture for the lower group. So see the formula bar equals sum, and click the row where the score of upper group. For the lower group, click the row where the lower group is. And this one is for item discrimination. There are two pictures, picture A and picture B. And picture A, we are going to search about the difficulty index, and the picture B, the definition of the percentage. You can use decimal or percent. It's up to you. You can choose in menu bar and Microsoft Excel. Just pay attention with the formula. Write down in the formula bar correctly. When you ask about the means of difficulty index, you use a formula as picture B. Be careful. You will write down the meaning of difficulty index. And this is like my example above about the structure analysis. It is the result in Google Form. You can see in the part of responses in sub of individual. So you will see how many structure of your percent structure of your option in Google Form. Well, now this is the last of this slide is conclusion. An ORI is used to measure the quality of test item, which also measures students' proficiency level. It is to know whether it is a good test or not. It is usually done at the end of the course, which is called summative test, and CORI is used to diagnose if the test and treatment relates with course objective. It is conducted twice. Those are in the beginning of the course and at the end of the course. So guys, actually it will be easier to use SPSS, and don't forget to use the YouTube channel from Mem Uni, which has been shared by her from Mr. If I'm not wrong, from Mr. Rosali. That's so clear. And moreover, he gave us example in form of Excel or Corel. That very extremely good explanation. Again, the last I say thank you very much for deep attention, and thanks to for all sources which I have written on my paper. Okay guys, you can see my paper for my explanation, or you can try the YouTube channel that I have been written in my paper. You can visit that channel to try the formula in Microsoft Excel. But be careful, you should try correctly in a good condition, so you can have good result. And the last I say, happy fasting in Ramadan 1442 Hijriah. Thank you for Mem Uni. I myself still need your guidance. Okay, that's I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.